Hussein and his son Faisal want to unify the Arab regions of the Ottoman Empire. They also plan to expel the Turks, who they have long considered to be foreign rulers. Lawrence is sent to the Arabian Peninsula to make contact with the rebel forces and to reinvigorate the uprising with Faisal's help. It's the start of a career that will make him world famous. In the desert, he meets a man who, a year ago, had cooperated with Oppenheim.
Nun, eure Waffen sind gut. Aber ohne Geld werden die Beduinen
London
Scheichs.
has given Lawrence all the authority he needs to make him a more attractive partner in the eyes of the Sheikh. He can offer weapons, military advisors, and money.
Für Geld.
Wie viel?
£200.000 Sterling. Jeden Monat, solange der Krieg dauert.
The British are prepared to fund the Arab uprising.
Das ist viel Geld.
£200,000 sterling per month to mobilize Faisal and his Bedouin warriors against Turks and Germans.
Sie ist unbezahlbar.
Wenn's dann hart auf hart kommt, sind andere
When
Interessen.
it comes to the crunch, religion is less important than other interests. The same applied during the First World War. The Arab elites were most concerned with the question of independence, a political question that weighs heavier on the soul than the salvation of your soul in paradise.
Das Seelenheil in einem Paradies.
Freedom and money are more important than the Kaiser's holy war. The Arabs do go to war, but in support of the British and against the Turks and Germans. Lawrence knows that in an open battle, his Bedouin fighters are weaker than the Turks. The Bedouin's strength lies in guerrilla warfare. The weakest link in the Turkish defense is the German-built railway. It's ideal for an attack. The Bedouins, who can survive in the desert, are able to attack out of nowhere and then disappear again into the distance. Lawrence perfects these tactics of pin-prick attacks, disrupting the Turkish supply lines. By the end of 1916, all Ottoman forces are in retreat. From Egypt, a British expeditionary force pushes northwards. In December 1917, the British reach Jerusalem. The Sultan's troops and their German commander clear their positions without resistance. On the 9th of December, the victors march through the alleyways of the Holy City. Lawrence celebrates the victory over the Turks and Germans, but he knows that the Arabs' jubilation is premature.
Ist das nicht herrlich? Ein großer Tag für das Empire.
Lawrence has been told that the dream of Arab independence will not come to fruition.
Jedenfalls glauben sie das.
Die Deutschen
The
haben
Germans have too little money and too few soldiers and personnel, appropriate personnel, to implement their strategy on the ground. But it's different for the British. They seem to have infinite amounts of money, and they have no problem promising the Arabs independence when they have no intention of honoring their promise.
von vornherein nicht halten wollen.
Oppenheim is forced to admit failure.
Ich dachte, ich hätte den Arabern ein Ziel gegeben, für das es...
He thought he'd given the Arabs a goal that was worth fighting for. But he realizes that the British had a much smarter strategy.
Kämen die Unabhängigkeit geschenkt.
Sie werden schon bald merken, dass Sie getäuscht werden.
Some still hope for victory, but Oppenheim realizes that the war on the battlefield has been lost.
Hör auf, Schröder.
Jihad, made in Germany, was little more than a pipe dream.
Wir sind völlig am Ende. Ausgeblutet. Das Spiel ist aus.
Die Dschihad-Strategie des Deutschen Reiches scheiterte in
The
einer
German Empire's Holy War turns out to be a grandiose failure. Its professed anti-colonial sentiments weren't credible.
der Dschihad
Muslims were simply unable to trust a jihad that was led by a Christian power.
nicht glaubhaft.
By November 1918, the war, the most murderous to date, is over. In London and Paris, people celebrate the German defeat. The Kaiser is forced to abdicate. The Muslim revolt that he had hoped for never happened.